The amount of untraceable money we found in this case will blow your mind.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Today we look into the case of a 69-year-old woman who lost over $100,000 in crypto scams.
Hello, my name is Linda and I am retired. I'm coming to Social Catfish with a situation where I met a man online. I'm pretty sure that I'm being scammed. I have sent him money, more than I'd like to admit to. I met him on Match. In fact, he was my second meetup in Match. He is white, he's bald, and I believe he told me he had hazel eyes. We basically exchanged general information about our families, our work experience, and it was within the first week he asked me to get off a Match and exchange phone numbers.
Philip asking Linda to move away from the dating app is a very common tactic used by scammers. Luring someone into messaging apps like Google Hangouts or WhatsApp makes it easier for them to disappear.
He likes to watch soccer. He actually is originally from Germany, and he came to the United States with his wife who passed away 5 or 6 years ago.
Linda and Philip really hit it off. They were talking every day for over 2 weeks. It was almost like Philip wanted to know everything about her. This is a big red flag.
He was pretty romantic right off the bat, and he was sending me messages that he loved me and that he wants to get to know me better.
Philip didn't seem to be afraid of intimacy. Within a few days of knowing her, he was confessing his love.
The contract in England was going to be somewhere between $800,000 and $1 million contract. And it was going to be his last contract, and then he was going to retire, and then we could be together.
Philip claimed to be an engineer and an independent contractor. He told Linda about a 2-week project he was supposed to take on in England. After packing his bags and finally making it to England, he ran into a deep problem.
Within about the first 4 days, he was contacting me asking if he could use me to transfer money from his offshore account to pay his workers because he couldn't access it from England.
Philip granted Linda access to his bank accounts, where he had a total of $300,000. Her goal? Transfer $141,000 for the labor from one bank account to another and $71,000 for the material.
And I did do 2 large transactions for him, guiding me over text.
Seeing Philip's bank account provided a sense of security to Linda. It was a validation she was looking for. This proved that he was a successful man, and he was set to come home finally and begin his retirement.
About 2 days before the flight, he notified me that he couldn't leave England because he had an income tax to pay to the country of England. He had a check, he said, for, I believe it was $680,000. He couldn't cash that till he got back to the States. I think for about the next 2 months, we worked on trying to get the income tax situation straightened out.
After the job was complete in England, the scam began to take place. Gaining her trust was the first step, and after talking to her every day for over 3 weeks, he finally asked a big favor.
The money he was asking me for was to satisfy the debt owed to England, which was probably around $300,000, but I didn't have anywhere near that to contribute.
She wrote him a $3,000 check to help him with his debt. Overall, he claimed to have over $300,000 in tax debt.
He actually got an attorney involved. The attorney actually put in some money and worked with some government officials. He's said from the beginning that he is going to get back to the States, cash the check, and pay me back more than I paid him. What was behind me sending him money was the fact that he trusted me with those hundreds of thousands of dollars a transfer from his own bank account early on. I guess I thought I was helping him out so he could come back to the States to me and he'd pay me back and, we'd live happily ever after. Account that his $680,000 check was on was PNC, which is a U.S. bank. That check from England was made out on a U.S. bank in U.S. dollars. Apparently, the offshore account got frozen, but it seemed as if that wasn't going to get rectified until he got back to the States. And he's still asking me for money as of today, and I haven't sent him money in like the last 3 weeks.
Linda was willing to do anything to bring Philip home. And even though CoinMe had a limit of $2,500 per day of Bitcoin transactions, she sent over $100,000. That is a total of over 80 separate transactions over the span of 80 separate days.
I actually have all my accounting written down for all the transactions, and there's about 80 transactions.
I mean, this became a daily routine for her. She'd wake up in the morning and send $2,500 worth of Bitcoin to this guy. He took advantage of her.
Basically, what I have for documentation is the withdrawals from my bank account and the QR code that I sent it to.
She's a super calculated person. She sent over all of the transactions she made. I mean, we're talking 80 transactions over 80 days of $2,500.
Well, right now I'm struggling to figure out how I'm going to pay my income taxes, which are coming due in the next month. But yeah, it's left me completely broke. My end goal with Philip is to find out if he's a real person, which if he was a real person, I wouldn't mind being with him, but I'd rather find out that he's not a real person and be done with it. We still have a bond and we still have feelings for each other as much as you can for someone that you've never met.
So Brienne took a look at the Bitcoin wallets. It took hours going through each one. What a lot of people don't know is that every Bitcoin wallet's activity is public information. You can check anyone's Bitcoin history on the blockchain. So if you have the wallet number, you just take that and then input it on the blockchain. So we began to dig into where exactly Linda's money went. So what we found was that the scammers were using every Bitcoin transaction that Linda sent as basically payroll. And then the wallet would immediately disperse all of the money to a bunch of different wallets. So we started to follow the paper trail, and some of these wallets had millions of dollars. We couldn't believe the amount of money that we were looking at in these wallets. The money was being sent to so many different wallets, we went down a rabbit hole for hours. It's almost like they were using this as a way to wash the money. Now, getting Linda's money back was going to be really tough, so our team decided to basically search for some answers and give some closure to Linda.
So the check was used to entice Linda in the beginning to send money. The first thing we noticed was where the check was from, Chesapeake Region Safety Council. After researching this company, we found out that they are a nonprofit specializing in safety courses. The next thing that we noticed was the city and state located on the bottom of the check. The city was misspelled. This caught our eye because it is very rare and impossible to find a misspelling on a printed check. And lastly, we checked all of the numbers at the bottom of the check. Almost always, there will be a routing number, a checking account number, and a check number. The routing number is always 9 digits. The checking account number can vary in digits from 6 to up to 17 numbers. But the issue was the check number. The check number at the top did not match the check number at the bottom of the check. This is a must. So the tools we use to verify information are found on our website, socialcatfish.com.
If you're looking to find the identity of your online lover, you can start with the tools on our site, socialcatfish.com. You can click this YouTube card or click the link in our bio. Just hitting like, comment, and subscribe helps us build more tools out for you to use in the future.
Brienne here has done a bunch of research on your Bitcoin wallets that you sent us over, who the real guy in the photos is, and we also tracked his location. But before we hop into those things, Linda, I just had a question. Yeah. So have you ever been scammed in the past before?
I have been. They were on an oil rig. They ran out of money and needed a gift card for phone card, and I immediately unfriended them.
Gotcha. So what do you think that Philip had that you were so drawn to maybe not see those red flags?
Yeah, he didn't actually ask for money until about 3 weeks, 4 weeks into the conversation, after he'd gone to the UK and had trouble with his bank account. So I think there was more love bombing that drew me in as well.
Do you think that Philip is who he claims to be?
I'd set it at 50-50.
You've sent over multiple Bitcoin addresses. So I looked into each of those accounts, and as of today, all of those address wallets have a total of a zero balance. At one point, they had anywhere ranging from a couple $100 to $2,000, $3,000. But as of today, they all have a balance of zero.
Well, I assume that means that he's withdrawn the funds, the Bitcoin funds.
That is correct.
Originally, he was using an agent, and I was having certified checks sent from my bank to a Texas location, which I gave you. And then he brought up the issue of Bitcoin. And I was kind of nervous about that, but he walked me through it, how I would go to an ATM and how he would give me a QR code. And it worked pretty seamlessly.
So just to let you know, Linda, this is basically the breakdown of Bitcoin, how it works. So all of the transactions and all of the wallet IDs, those are viewable by the public, which means anyone can view these addresses, these wallets, and they're able to view the transactions, that the coming and going of the amounts of money and the wallets that they're being sent to. Also, what I'd like to add to this is that Bitcoin is untraceable, which means it's very difficult to regain any amount of money back once it's been sent. There's no personal information attached to these IDs, so there would be no way for you to know who this person is that has sent the money or withdrawn the money, because there's no personal identification. We were able to find the real identity for Philip, and it looks like the person in these images is known as Duncan Thomas.
He's from New Jersey. He's a gay man. He has nothing to do with this scam. He has a huge digital print all over the web. He's got a Twitter, an Instagram, a Facebook.
Yeah. So it's been stolen, and he's a victim too.
Yeah. Linda, we worked together to get one of our Social Catfish special links over to Philip. He clicked on it,
right,
and I got some results back. In the location that this person behind these photos of Philip is in Lima, Peru. We've seen a lot of scammers coming from this location frequently. And Lima is the capital of Peru. It's the biggest city in Peru. And we are confident that this person that stole your money is in Peru.
All right. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised because it would be more like a similar time zone rather than being UK or Nigeria.
Scammers do a pretty good job of sticking to whatever fabricated story that they gave you. If he tells you that he's in the UK, he's gonna try to mask his identity and pretend to be from the UK. And he's gonna pretend to wake up in the morning and go to work at the time that someone in UK would, and he's gonna pretend to go to sleep. Yeah. How has this affected you financially? You seem pretty calm about this whole situation.
Yeah, I was planning for the worst case scenario, which is exactly what I've gotten. I actually blocked him last night from email and from the phone. So the only way he has to contact me is on Kik, K-I-K. And he's been asking to call me today And since I knew I had this interview, I was avoiding him. So now that I have the answer, I'm going to delete Kick and be done with him.
Thanks for watching another episode of Scamfish presented by SocialCatfish.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.
Scams come in so many different forms. If you have been a victim of any of the scams below, please email us at sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We'll get to the bottom of it with help from our Social Catfish team. By sharing your story with our YouTube audience, we can educate, spread awareness, and maybe someday we can put an end to these scams.